The Secretary of State's office, I think that in a couple of ways can impact the small business. And I'm not going to focus on some of the actual duties, which includes some partnerships in Arizona are registered at the Secretary of State's office. I think actually that there needs to be some consolidation with the Corporation Commission. This goes back to question number one, what government can do, and I think government can operate more efficiently, and that's helpful to business. When you have to go to multiple places to file reports or do things like that, I think that that's a sign that we have some improvement to do. And so I believe that that's something, one of the things I'd like to do is look at where these issues can be consolidated, and I believe this is one of them, one of the things that can be consolidated. But the Secretary of State's office does manage those filings, and so I believe that the Secretary of State's office in its current form can certainly make it as simple as possible. There are some things that still have to be done in person, and I believe that with our online environment we can make that simpler through electronic filings and other things like that. But when I entered this race, having been at the Capitol, having been in the last 10 years, I'm also a litigation attorney, Bill, and I primarily do employment-related litigation, and so I'm very familiar with the employment laws in Arizona, federally as well. But I've long, even in my time in the legislature, I've tried to be an advocate for small business outside of Arizona, indicating that there are a lot of places outside in other states that do not have the employment environment that we have, and perhaps it's one of the reasons why. I mean, we've been ranked as the #1 place for job growth coming up in the next several years. We are open to business, and we're a friendly employment environment. And I can speak to those issues, and I've done that in the legislature, but I believe that the Secretary of State's office can have a role. When I entered the race, I said one of the things that I think the Secretary of State's office could do in conjunction with the governor's office is be an ambassador for the state. I mean, we expect our Secretary of State nationally to be an ambassador, to be the chief, we'll say, advocate in foreign affairs. I'm not suggesting that the Arizona Secretary of State should be the chief advocate for anything, but I believe that you can certainly work hand in hand with the business community, with the Commerce Authority, which we have established. I think that the Secretary of State's office could do a good job in helping manage manage Arizona's image, and also helping convey that to places where I believe we can go and find people who want to come to Arizona and expand their business. I believe that's something that the Secretary of State, I'm not necessarily suggesting they should. It's certainly not a constitutional or statutory duty, but if you have somebody in that office like me who understands the business climate and community, has experience in that world, and legislative experience where I can speak to both the political climate and the business climate, I believe that it's something that we should explore and do from that office.